In just 2.5 years, I made $650,000 Canadian with only 3,000 followers. This is total revenue, and the profit margins are about 55 to 60%. And I'm here to tell you that making money from your content, regardless of how big your audience is much simpler than you think. There was no endless hustle for virality to achieve what I did, and there was no secret, complicated strategy that you just haven't heard of yet. It's much simpler than you realize because you're leveraging things you've already lived and experienced. What I'm about to teach you in this video is also what helped my clients make over $1.5 million US in total revenue, like Corey, who went from 10K a month to 50K a month consistently in just under 9 months, Corinne, who hit 25K a month consistently, Mark, who 4x'd his income in just 4 months, JC, who closed a 10K pay in full deal in only 9 days, and Steve, who went from making $500 a month to $6,000 a month. Steve did that, by the way, in only 3 months. By the end of this video, not only will you learn a timeless psychological principle that transcends online marketing, but 3 actionable steps to implement it in your business today. I have a question for you. How do you achieve what most creators are after? Giving the minimal required effort to get the best possible results. Because as much as you might love posting content like I do, you'd be lying if you said you're content with grinding content all day to get nothing to show for it. So to answer that question, I looked to the world of film. What movies made the most possible money with the smallest budgets? I wanted to find movies that were absolute smash hits, so I filtered my search for movies that made over $10 million US. And when looking at the list of the 8 movies I could find, I found something interesting. Half of these movies were horror. Paranormal Activity, The Blair Witch Project, Night of the Living Dead, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. There were 2 action movies, the first Rocky and the first Mad Max, and there was 1 documentary, Super Size Me. All 7 of these movies evoke an intense emotion based on the premise alone. Super Size Me was exposing McDonald's, a massive, globally known food chain. Horror movies are meant to freak you out, and the 2 action movies were classic underdog stories. But there's one movie on this list that doesn't follow any of those rules. It's a comedy, Napoleon Dynamite. And it's also one of my favorite movies of all time. It was made for $400,000 and made $46 million. In fact, the guy who played Napoleon, John Hader, only got paid $1,000 to do the gig when it started. And if we were to look at the surface of the movie, nothing really jumps out to you about the premise as to why it made over 100 times more than what it cost. It's a movie about some nerd who lives in Idaho and helps his friend run for class president. He wears moon boots, his uncle is a freeloading has-been, and his best friend decided to shave his head instead of turning on air conditioning. The plot sounds kind of dumb when you read it out loud, but it influenced millions of people and became a massive hit. So what was the key to their success? It's hidden in the characters. They are extremely watchable. Every character has some type of behavior trait that either makes you laugh or makes you want to keep watching. They're 3-dimensional, they're real, and they remind you of somebody that you knew at some point in your life. Again, the premise is simple. It doesn't match the guerrilla warfare promotion of the Blair Witch Project. It's not about some apocalyptic world where Mel Gibson takes on the Australian government. But the characters are so good, you can't help but watch. This is the premise your content needs to be based on. How do I become so watchable that people not only gravitate towards me, but tell their friends to look at my stuff too? Because when you're somebody people want to watch, you're somebody they want to get closer to and actually buy from. The characters in Napoleon Dynamite feel natural and authentic to the plot, so you need to create content that is a natural extension of who you are. It's not 2020 anymore, where TikTok blew everybody's mind with the idea of a short-form algorithm. There are more creators entering the market than ever before. So much to the point that I saw a post the other day talking about how a big chunk of marketers are taking their budget completely out of organic marketing to just throw it into ads completely. This doesn't mean the market's too saturated. It means that people are tired of the fabricated, over-the-top content where the only reason to watch is look at how cool I am. And being somebody people want to watch doesn't mean creating great marketing with a garbage offer or a terrible product. It means your content is an extension of who you are and you follow through on the promise with your fulfillment. When you take that simple premise and pair it with the dynamic characters that make sense in that role, it becomes something people can't stop talking about. In fact, every single movie I mentioned at the beginning of the video involved an incredible cast who absolutely crushed their performance. Stallone was perfect as Rocky, and the Blair Witch Project was so convincing, audience members were literally writing their condolences to the actors' families. This just means you need to pair your watchable content with a premise or offer that works for you. Rocky Balboa campaigning for Pedro Sanchez to be president would have been a completely different movie, and I do not think the Blair Witch Project would have been nearly as scary if it was Uncle Rico running around with those camcorders. This is why the right premise or the right offer matters so much for maximizing your impact with your unique character. It needs to feel natural to your authentic abilities, views, and mannerisms. But how do you actually implement this? There are three main pillars, and the third is by far the most important. The first is you create a unique idea. And this is more than just finding gaps in the market. This is about creating a unique mechanism that's authentic to you. And in order to create content that is an extension of you, you must create ideas, angles, and offers that are also extensions of you. Here's my formula, and you're gonna wanna write this down. The first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna take your audience and write down a giant list of all the pain points they're experiencing. Then you're gonna highlight, check off, star the points that they will be willing to pay the most money to get rid of. The next thing you're gonna do, you're going to create a giant list of all the desired outcomes they want. Then you're gonna highlight, check mark, star, whatever you need to do, the points that they will be willing to pay the most money for. Third list, you're going to create a giant list of all the things that you could do to solve those problems and get them to the solutions. You're going to check off, highlight, star the solutions that both move the needle in the greatest capacity and also are talked about the least by the market. Said simply, what's going to get them the best result that not as many people are talking about. Fourth list, we're still not done making lists. You are going to write down every single piece of advice you see being talked about in the market right now, and you're going to checkmark, highlight, star the ones you strongly disagree with. This creates polarization and helps you stand out. Thing number 5, you're going to create a giant list of your own unique skills, abilities, experiences, worldviews, expressions, parts of your soul that help facilitate the transformation that you have created through the first 4 lists you just wrote down. So for example, the offer I've created, helping coaches and consultants add 10 to 20K a month by improving their video content through unique ideas and inner work. This is a direct reflection of the things I've gone through in the last 4-ish years. The inner work stuff is stuff I've directly experienced. The unique ideas are things I've directly done in order to grow my agency and help my clients grow their businesses. The content ecosystems are things I've done, things that move the needle, things I don't see people talk about as much, things that I think are different than just going viral or going into ChatGPT, making a template with the most viewed videos in your niche. That hurt my voice, so I'm going to stop that. But the point is, these are all things that I have gone through and align with my unique skills and interests, so that's why I created the offer. It is a very natural extension of who I am, what I like doing, the impact I can make, and the worldviews I have. A lot of people make the mistake of thinking, oh, this market's saturated, therefore I can't talk about these things. No, it just means there's opportunity, and maybe you don't take the exact same viewpoint of your favorite creator, but you find adjacent angles that make it unique to you and facilitate a bit deeper of a transformation, or a transformation that's a bit more unique to you. That's how you stand out. That's how you create something unique that makes a big difference, stands out as new and different, and isn't just you trying to create something people have never seen before. This process becomes the foundation for your unique ideas, for your offer, for your content. The unique idea I came up with for my agency, the one that made $650,000 in 2.5 years that I talked about at the beginning, was to pair proven content channels like short form video and emails together to get a better result for my clients. A lot of marketing agencies were just focusing on posting short form video or clipping armies or YouTube long form or emails or Twitter ghostwriting or LinkedIn ghostwriting. I was like, okay, what do I really like doing? What am I good at? What can I do for long periods of time? How do I pair them? Will they get great results? And they did. I didn't do a ton of outreach. I didn't rely on outreach to sustain my business. A lot of the clients that came to me were inbound or through content or through referrals or because of the results we had or through my VSL funnel. Because the idea was effective and underutilized in the market, it helped me a ton. From there, we also went on into YouTube long form, which further helped our clients and also checked off the boxes on the list making task that I told you a little while ago. Pillar number 2, you're going to create content ecosystems that work in unison, not just post content for the sake of posting content. You have 3 goals when you're posting content online. Number 1, connect with your audience on a deep level. 2, change the way they see the world. And 3, show proof of competency that you can actually do the thing you say you do. When you do these 3 things consistently, people will buy. You just need to make sure your content works together to get them to those places where they connect with you, they see that you actually get the result, and they now align with your worldview. There are 4 pillars of a content ecosystem. You have short form video, long form video, emails, and ads. Short form gives them bite-sized pieces of content for them to see what you're all about. If they like that, you give them opportunities to go deeper with you. You create long form videos like this in order for them to go deeper into your worldview, to be fully propagandized, to be fully educated on the way you see the world and how it makes a massive difference for you and your clients. Then in order to maximize conversions, you need some type of owned media, email or text. I like email, and a couple of years ago I saw a stat that said that email converts 74% better than social media content does. I'd imagine that's probably higher now due to today's content market, but the point still remains. Get them warmed up, get them interested in what you're actually doing through your short and long form, get them on your email list, give them a freebie, give them some type of guide, free course that is super valuable to them. It's easy for them to go, yep, I want that. Get them on the list, your conversion rate skyrockets. Then once you have the offer and the premise and the content validated organically, you can pour gas on the fire with ads. The main content engine for me with my agency was short form and email, which is funny because that's what we were selling. So I think that is a good indicator of me being a business owner with integrity. But I actually didn't do it as well as I know I could have looking back on it. And a big reason as to why that was is what I'm going to explain in pillar number 3. Pillar number 3, we're here already. Doing the inner work to attract more success and actually keep it. This process took a while for me. It originally started 8 years ago, wow, in 2018, when I found the world of personal development and personal growth. I had just dropped out of college for the first time. I was playing college basketball at this college I really liked. I got a scholarship. I was so stoked. And it didn't go the way I wanted it to. So I went back to Winnipeg to live with my parents and had to think about why things didn't work out. That's when I found the world of personal development, and I just took it and ran. Read a bunch of books, watched videos, got guides, met with like-minded people, networked like crazy, the whole 9 yards. Then it accelerated in 2023, just months after I launched my agency, because even though things looked like they were going well in my life, agency was going well, I was living on my own in Toronto, I was constantly anxious. I was starting to work on my emotional state and actually seeing what I was going through, and I was starting to relate what I had going on inside here. And it worked. It helped me be more magnetic, and the first year of business, we made $320,000 Canadian in total revenue. But there was a new level I reached in 2024 where I really learned the benefit of slowing down. My mentor likes to say to me that these are vast waters and there are many levels to this alive process. And I truly learned what the heck that meant in early 2024 through late 2024. It's still relevant now, but that 9 to 10 month period in my life was extremely transformative for a bunch of reasons. Things looked really good on the outside. I was making more money than I ever had. I was very successful to what other people could see. And even though I told myself, yeah, I'm ready to scale this business up, I realized that the foundations I had built my life upon were shaky at best. The relationship I was in was built on an idea of what I thought things were rather than what was actually going on. I didn't know how to give myself what I really needed because I pretended my needs didn't exist. And if they did, then they weren't important. So things like self-love, respect, care, all foreign to me. And the main reason I started my agency was because I didn't want to move back to Winnipeg with my parents. I didn't really love the agency model that much. I love coaching and consulting with people. That stuff gives me so much life and energy. The agency stuff, I was just kind of lukewarm on. And so, yes, while I was making good money and getting outsized financial returns compared to the small audience I had on social media, I decided to slow down and see what was really going on inside here. And things were still good. We did 280 grand Canadian in the second year, which I'm very grateful for. But the more I slowed down and related to what was going on in here and focused on things like enjoying myself, having fun, and not taking everything so damn seriously, wild concepts, right? I realized that my dislike or apathy for the agency model continued to grow. And the reason why I wasn't going harder or scaling more wasn't a character flaw, but it just wasn't for me. When I started my agency back in January 2023, the main reason for doing so is because I just got fired. And like I said earlier in the video, I didn't want to go back to Winnipeg. So the more inner work I did, the more magnetic I became. But the more inner work I did after that, and the more layers I continued to peel back, the more I saw it wasn't even the right game to begin with. So many people ask the question, how do we make this better? But they do not have the courage to ask, should we even be doing this in the first place? Is this the right game to be playing? Once I had enough space from the thought of potentially going back to Winnipeg and enough proof to show me that I didn't have to do it ever if I didn't want to, my desire to continue building that business completely flatlined. And so I packed up my bags and moved to Thailand from Vancouver. I shouldn't point over there. Moved to Thailand, that's where I am filming this video, from Vancouver. The inner work portion has 3 main categories. Number 1, work on your fear of being seen. Number 2, can you increase your energetic capacity to hold space for yourself, your clients, your business, and the financial abundance you're bringing in? And 3, how do your thoughts create your reality? How do you create emotions from your thinking? How do you think about your thinking? How do you think about your emotions? And how does it shape the reality that you're currently living in? Those 3 things help you consciously create a life you love and can't wait to get out of bed every day for. If you don't know where to start in this realm, I always recommend starting with meditating and journaling. 10 minutes, do nothing, close your eyes, focus on your breathing. It'll feel like an eternity. After about a week, it'll be fine. Trust me, you will live. And then just stream of consciousness journal for 10 to 15 minutes. Every once in a while, I'd go for 30. You'll learn some really cool things about yourself. But I personally am on day 727. That's almost 2 years in a row of every day doing it as of the filming of this video. Oh, and one more thing about the inner work. Practice detachment. The more you need something, the more you need it to go a certain way, the more you actually push it away further from you. Because you start acting desperate and people can feel that. Anyways, that's today's video. If you found any value in it, please like, drop a comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. I will be posting more regular content to help you grow your coaching business on my YouTube channel, so please stay tuned for that. And if you do want my help adding 10 to 20K a month to your coaching business by becoming the kind of person people want to watch and get closer to so that they can buy from you, reach out to me on Instagram. It'll be in the description below. Send me a message and I will send you the info. I'll help you out. I do not have a VA or anything right now, so you will be talking directly to me. I look forward to seeing how I can help you out, whether it's more videos, resources, or working together. Talk later. Peace.